A week ago, McGill-Toolen played host to a really talented Opelika team. The Yellow Jackets snuck by at home 21-20 at the Lip. Tonight in round 2, the Jackets had to hit the road to play Wetumpka, the team that knocked out Daphne in round 1. So up near Montgomery we go. Let's check out the highlights. McGill on the road, but taking the field strong, baby, through the smoke. Let's see. Here we go. Wetumpka, Samuel Britton. They're going to score first. That's Charlie Crenshaw. 7-0 Indians on top. Later, Romarius Smith here in the Wildcat formation. Snap. Here we go. Game is tied up 7-7. Later, Harry Satterwhite hands it off to Smith. Edo Smith, excuse me. Shot sheet had something different. That's Edo Smith there. 14-7. McGill would lead, and here's the final. McGill is going to win 24-20 over Wetumpka. Moving on there. And here's a look at the 6A playoff bracket. McGill, like we mentioned, moving on. And coming up later in the show, we'll let you know the winner of Smith Station Enterprise, who they're going to play in the third round.
All right, exactly a year ago, Fairhope traveled to Carver, Montgomery for round 2 and lost 20-16. Guess what? Fairhope, round 2 versus Carver at Carver again. Pirates hoping for a little revenge tonight. Take a look at the map to see more traveling. Have game, must travel. Look at all those footballs all across the state, and let's take a look at some football action right now. This is a common open shot that we've been seeing here throughout the show. Fans in the rain watching some football. Carver Montgomery, Javante Davidson takes the handoff. He will turn the corner and take it to the house. 7-zip in the first. Second quarter action. After the celebration, we've got Lindell Wilson. Flips over the pile. That was amazing. 14-zip. We've got to get that in slow-mo at some point later. Simone, just show that later in the week in slow-mo. All right, Fairhope QB Steven Jackson sacked. Pretty much how the first half went. So the Pirates struggling on the road, and they will not advance. They fall 33-6 tonight. Take a look at that, the 6A playoff bracket. We've got Fairhope not advancing. Carver Montgomery will for the second straight year. Now, Foley at Auburn at the bottom of that, so let's take a look at those highlights. Overview of Foley Stadium. Nice looking shot there. Band about to play. Foley Marching Band, team about to play. Here's the highlights halfway through the first. Auburn with the ball. Blaze Taylor blazing down the sidelines. Nice play. Auburn would snag a field goal, making them 3-0 for the start. All right, Foley with the ball now. Just a few minutes at the end of the first quarter. Quarterback Cam Tyler looking for DeMarcus Bingham. And bing! Him. That wasn't very good. I'll work on that joke and come back later with something funnier. At the beginning of the second quarter, Auburn sweeps up another opportunity. Running back Tyus Flakes. Frosted Flakes. No? No good?
Love it.
Nope. My joke's terrible tonight.
That, though.
I'm working on them. All right. Auburn on top 23-20. What a game. So Foley and Fairhope, the two Fs on the Eastern Shore, unfortunately fall tonight.
All right, guys. Now, the flavor of the week has been that teams have had to travel. However, UMS got to stay at home, Joe.
Yeah, the flavor of tonight has been that we've had some audio issues, but good news for everybody at home is that Hal Sherrick is back and better than ever. What's going on, Big Hal?
Hey guys, it's good now. It's not raining. That's been kind of the theme of the night, as you said. We're starting to dry out. That's good. It's been a wet night here at Irvin Cooper Stadium, where UMS Wright hosted Beauregard. Beauregard came in here with a 9-2 record, as did UMS. They are also 9-2. These guys were no strangers to one another. These teams played each other last year in round 3, and UMS knocked off Beauregard then. So, of course, the Hornets came in here looking for some revenge, trying to move on themselves this year. Dish a little bit of that back out. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights, see if they did just that. Now, as I mentioned, it's been a wet night here at Old Shell Road. The steady rain and drizzle. The fans had to pull out the rain gear and umbrellas. As you can imagine, the field's quite a mess. And the first half was definitely a night to run the ball. You can see here Hornets quarterback Walker Meadows drops back the pass, but Hamilton Phillips and Tiff Lyons are all over him for a big loss. Now, second quarter, we've got UMS's Gunnar Roach has thoughts of passing, but he'll have to pull it in and run for it. Roach makes a couple of nifty spin moves to get out of trouble, but Beauregard's Nicholas Tate finally ropes him in for a little bit of gain. The Bulldogs had to go back to the air, though, and this time Roach will throw off his back foot and find Christian Pearsall for a nice gain. That will set up the first score of the game. This time Roach will keep it and break it outside and score from 5 yards out. They would miss the extra point, though, and only be up by 6. The Hornets tried to get on the board at the end of the half, but would come up empty, and we would go to halftime with a 6-0 score. So, as I mentioned, it was quite a wet night here on Old Shell Road. Thankfully, the rain has stopped. We caught up with Coach Terry Curtis right after the game, who's trying to win his 6th state championship here at UMS, and they'll be moving on. Let's hear what he had to say.
Well, no, and I thought our guys played hard. We knew they were coming in here. They said last week that we were the one they wanted to play because they felt like they could have easily won the game last year, which they could have. And about the same team, and thought they were a little bit better, and I think we're a little bit better. So proud of our defense in the first half, and just absolutely monsoon conditions. We didn't have a turnover all night, and didn't give up any big plays, and I couldn't be more proud of the bunch.
And the final score here tonight was UMS 21, Beauregard 7. So they'll be hitting the road, UMS that is, next week for round 3. They'll have to travel and seeking their next state championship. We're now reporting live from Old Shell Road and Irvin Cooper Stadium. Hal Sherrick, Fox 10 News.
Good work tonight, Hal. Appreciate all the hustle out there in the rain, bringing the highlights. Let's take a look at the 4A state playoff bracket. We're still waiting on the bottom part of that bracket, but we do know, as Hal just mentioned, that UMS Wright is moving forward. Coach Terry Curtis doing it again. The Bulldogs barking loud into the 3rd round. We'll be right back with more First and 10 after this.
Well, last year, T.R. Miller advanced to round 2 of the playoffs. Last year, T.R. Miller lost in round 2 of the playoffs to Midfield. This year, T.R. Miller advanced to round 2 of the playoffs. And this year, T.R. Miller played Midfield in round 2 of the playoffs. Going to get any more poetic? And can the Tigers get revenge tonight? Let's check it out. Up to Midfield we go near Birmingham. Let's check out the highlights. Here we go. Tigers on fire here with the pass from Keon Smith. to McHenry Coleman for a touchdown. Cheerleaders loving it as always. But later, Keon Smith again to McHenry Coleman, and he strikes for another touchdown. And let's take a look at the final. Now, TR Miller gonna win huge, 41-6. They're moving on to round 3.
Bayside missed the third round of the 2012 playoffs by just 1 point. Tonight, the Admirals traveled to Pike County. Both teams came into tonight's game with 7-4 records. Taking a look at the map, and we're going to travel to this one in Pike County. Do we have our cool? There it is.
There it is.
I like it. Bayside cheerleaders talking to the fans before the game, saying stuff like Bayside. That always gets you going. Pike County, LaMarcus Adair. Spin move, gets around another guy. What a run, 46 yards, 6 zip. Pike County takes a lead. Bayside not going away though. Hunter Slater, 37 yards in the air to Garris Go, and that would set up this. Trip Puckett at the goal line, 3 yards away. He trips up our cameraman, who eventually finds him. But that would put Bayside up 7-6. How about Pike County, though? Again, Jared Lawson, 17 yards to Ryshawn Hall. So Pike County takes the lead. A seesaw battle, and in the end, it was Bayside Academy coming out on top. Lots of our local teams are moving forward tonight.
All right, now let's check out Mobile Christian taking on Lamar County.
Yeah, all right, so here we go with the highlights of this one. Rainy night. All you need is one highlight for this. This is all you need because the story was the same all night long. Tyler Rogers.
Loving it.
Insane. We told you he went nuts at the top of the show. We still don't know how completely crazy he's gone, but we do know that number on his jersey too. Double that. That's the number of touchdowns that we know he's had so far. 4 touchdowns on the night for Tyler Rogers. He had his first 3 after just 4 carries. Insane. Now, for the rest of the game, let's take a look at what the score is at right now. Final. Tyler Rogers leads Mobile Christian, the Leopards, leaping into the next round of the playoffs, 40-34. We caught up with the Leopards head coach and the Leopard star running back just moments ago, because that's how we Rizzo on
baby.
1st and 10.
I think we come back and we do the same thing we've been doing. I don't think anything changes at this point in the season. I think if you get to the third round, you're doing some things right. There obviously be some things we need to tweak, but I feel like heading into the third round, we need to stick with what's been working for us and make sure we heal up and get healthy.
When I fumbled the ball, I thought it was over, but the defense didn't give it up. We got this theme that say never quit. Motivating for one guy named Harrison that we love so much. It was just amazing knowing that we didn't quit, and I'm glad we got the victory.
All right, well, congrats to Mobile Christian. Now here's a look at where all the teams had to travel. One of those was Washington County had to go to Hale County. We're going to check out those highlights. Here we go. The Bulldogs taking the field, and right off the bat, an interception by Washington County's DeAndre Smith, and he's going to hurdle a defender and get brought down. Later, DeAndre Smith, this time in offense, 25-yard catch downfield, and eventually we're going to have another pass caught here by Cedric Chapman for 35 yards. Washington County moving the ball really well. Let's take a look at the score. Washington County is going to win 36-0 over Hale County. And check out what this has lined up for us, guys. Washington County, Mobile Christian, the rematch of 2A we've all been waiting for. Earlier this season, Washington County beat Mobile Christian at Mobile Christian. So looking forward to a huge third-round game between those two teams.
This is kind of insider info, but I learned that Washington County's game plan is to stop the run and stop Tyler Rogers. Just a thought for you there. All right, for the second consecutive year, St. Luke's has advanced to round 2. Pretty impressive for a program that's only been around since 2010. Tonight, the Wildcats traveled to Brantley, so let's bring out the map and have them travel to Brantley. I'm going to do that every time. The sound effect adds a lot to it. Team captains shaking hands after the big old coin toss. Now Brantley with the ball. Wesley Person Jr. keeps it to himself with a 5-yard touchdown run. Brantley handing off this time to Andrew Parker. He runs it to the outside and sheds a tackle for their second touchdown. Then it is Brantley up the middle to Brandon Walker for the 55-yard rushing touchdown. Looking like Herschel Walker on that play, busting through for the double nickel, 55 yards, 26-3, Brantley in the third, 40-3, Brantley the final. So St. Luke's, great season, a great job making the playoffs once again. Unfortunately, it's the end of the road for them tonight.
All right, we're about to show you who's in and who's out as we continue down the road to the Super 6 in Tuscaloosa.
Back by popular demand? Not really, just sounds good. Simone and I have an encore performance of bracketology. We'll be right back.